And now what we're going to be doing, we're going to be starting with our webinar. We're happy to introduce Tobias, that is our CEO co-founder from Mailbutler. We have also James, our content manager from Mailbutler, and we have Dmitry as well, CEO of Stripo, one of our collaborators today. So we are very excited that you're here with us, Dmitry, and please, you can go ahead and tell us a little bit more about the topics that we're going to be discussing.
Yeah, hello. Hello to everyone, and thank you. Today we will discuss how to use AI in email. But before, really, not AI in generic understanding, generative AI. And before we start, just few definitions, just to understand what is generative AI. So if we would say that AI is just any programmatic way to make the system, to make the machine look like a human. The next level is a machine learning. Machine learning is just a way when computers, when machines self-educating using non-explicit programming. So we never know how it learns. And the next level is the natural networks. Next level is a deep learning, is a very big, is a huge natural networks with a lot of nodes, with a lot of layers. And one is a subset of a deep learning is generative AI. Generative AI is used to generate a content, different type of contents like text, visuals, audio, or writing a code. And now you know it's very popular because of release of OpenAI ChatGPT or MDA, Lambda from Google, BART. And there are so many cases, a lot of tools, a lot of, I don't know, everybody use them. And we will today show some way we using AI and how it can be used for you and by you. Can you go to the next slide, please? And the most popular way how AI is used for email marketing is a like standard way we use for years is machine learning algorithms for predictive segmentation to understand who will buy, who is probably will in a churn, the product recommendation, some other things, anytime optimization, a lot of things. All this stuff is a like traditional machine learning things. Now, when we have a lot of generative AI tools, we can apply this for text generation, for image generation, and other stuff. We will demonstrate you soon how we use. So let's go.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Dmitry, for the very interesting introduction into generative AI and its possibilities for marketing communication. So I'm Tobias, I'm the CEO and co-founder of Mailbutler. I will quickly show you the landscape of digital communication because as Rogelio and Dmitry already said, we are focusing actually on email. So as we all know, there are many different communication channels. And when it comes to digital communication, for example, customers can get in touch with you via your social media channels, website chat, email, they can call you, or they can use messenger apps to get in touch with you. So as you see, many different ways. And also the way of communication for each channel is differently. And that's why there are many companies out there focusing on one medium. For example, website chat, we have chatbot and Zendesk. But today we're really focusing on the medium email communication and how to use AI or generative AI to improve your email communication. Mailbutler is even in that field of email focusing on business emails. So your daily business emails you're receiving all the time, talking to customers, talking to clients, even internal emails. And Stripe was more focusing on email campaigns, mass email campaigns. So, but let's see both tools in action. Dmitry will give you now a short demo of Stripo, how to use artificial intelligence in Stripo and how to boost your future campaigns. So Dmitry, you can take over the screen now and share with us what Stripo can do for our audience. Yeah, we see your screen, perfect. But you're muted. Yeah.
So first, 2 words about the Stripo. Stripo is email design, email template builder. So you can use drag and drop things to build emails. And I wanted to show you how we use AI that helps you to generate the great emails. So the Stripo. If you go to Stripe, you have your emails you created, and I prepared email that we really send to our customers that announce this webinar. So the editor allows just to build email, drag and drop things, but it's not. It's very important how email looks like, but it's much more important the value and the message it has. And usually it's going from subject line. And let's see how we use AI to generate subject line. For example, we have some subject line like unlock AI-powered email efficiency, blah, blah, blah. Usually, how we use ChatGPT, we can just improve my or suggest me email. It doesn't have a goal. So you always can click like improve with AI, and it suggests different ways based on Cialdini rules, for example, how to use this, improve your subject line with a social proof or authority or some other things. You can regenerate them and use more and more and more. It always gives you a lot of ideas, and you can choose one, like supercharge email productivity with AI. Let's do this. The next level is just pre-header. And pre-header you can generate using already existing subject line. It's trying to add something more in addition to subject line. Or you can just improve using Cialdini methods the same way as we did for subject line. Usually how I do, I use complementary methods that generate subject line pre-header based on subject line, and then I try to improve. Subject line and pre-header is very obvious thing. The next level is how to improve the text. And for improving the text, you can do, I don't know, any kind of text like this, and you can improve a text. And again, you have a lot of ideas what can be improved. One of the most popular is just fix a grammar. If I know what I want to say, and we know that ChatGPT can suggest us a lot of different things, you can do, I don't know, I'm from Ukraine, I'm not very good in English, for example, how we not navigate or something like that. And I want to fix a grammar, and it generates and suggests a learn how to navigate. So you can leave a response, or you can continue with the original version if you want. Okay, I want to leave it, but really I would like to translate into Ukrainian, and it's easy. So you can very easily do text manipulation. But the next level, how to use it, it's not just for one small part, but also for the big module. In a Stripe, you have an ability to create and use modules, like I just created for typical blog session. Oops, I don't want to have this. I would like to add some spacer here, and like this, 40 pixels is okay, but really for me it's 25. Oh, 25, 25 is told. Okay. Yes. So I can generate the text for the group. We call it smart modules, smart containers. You can create variables and provide a link on AI and say, okay, improve it with AI. It grabs the data from our post, initial post, let's do its post from here, AI with human writers, who works better. By the way, we generate it like this and test it. Who generate better click rate? You can hope it gets the data, it gets the picture automatically, and then you can, okay, please, you know this article, can you improve it with AI? And it does. It's how we use like generative text generation for creating emails. we use it not only for email creation, but also it can be used for personalization. You know, personalization by first name. It's very typical way how to personalize your email. Just hi, Dmitry. But usually in your database, it's not necessarily the good first names. Sometimes last name mix it with the first name. It's bad names. You can just use. I use ChatGPT and I just tested. Can you validate first name? I just provided my first name, like Tobias, Dmitry, and some, I don't know, Duty, or in the Ukrainian version, or it's a pet name in Ukrainian version, it's a Vaska. And I told, please provide me structural response. And it generates me feedback. Tobias, yes, contributed like this. Dmitry, yes, it's Ukrainian name, great. You can say Dmitry or Dmitry, or I don't know this name. Dutic is uncertain. I don't know this in English or any known language. But Ksenia, yes, is Ukrainian. But if you want to, if your email in English, it's not good to put first name in Ukrainian because it's not consistent. It looks like it's not real person who writes to me. It suggests English version to congratulate. Or Vaska said, okay, it's a pet name. You can use it, but it's a pet name. So you can structure your data to use for better personalization. Really, generative AI can be used for much, much more, even for generating ideas. We have our project, Reteno. You can provide with any mobile application here. I don't know, I use tobacco, you can tacos, it can be Amazon, I don't know, anything, Amazon Prime Video. And it generates typical ideas, and you say, okay, I would like to have abandoned cart notification for, I thought not necessarily in email, any kind of a channel. And it generates your ideas and generates the example of content with some emojis. You can improve, regenerate, just use it to generate ideas. But it's not necessarily the good thing to use AI generation. Next time, I mean, later today, we will discuss some problems with using generative AI. But shortly, I don't know, we don't have a lot of time. You can register in Stripo, it's completely free, and use, try, test. I'm really looking for your feedback. And please, in the Q&A section today, if you have your way you're using generative AI in your mail, please share with us or ask a question. We are here till the end of the webinar. So that's it. I think I'm in timing. So yeah.
Thanks a lot, Dmitry. I will not switch back to the slides. Maybe James, you can directly take over and demonstrate the capabilities of Mailbutler. And as I said before, Stripo is for email campaigns, templates. Mailbutler is for different has a different approaches for your business emails, actually for your email inbox. And Mailbutler is compatible with Apple Mail, Gmail, and Outlook. So the three major email programs out there used by, I would say, over 80% of all professionals. And James is using his Apple Mail inbox. He prefers to work in Apple Mail and shows us how Mailbutler can improve your email flow with artificial intelligence. There are way more features in Mailbutler, but we will focus on the AI ones.
Cool. Thanks very much, Tobias, and thanks very much for that demo. That was really interesting.
Yeah.
So here I am in the Apple Mail inbox, and after you've installed Mailbutler, the first thing you'll need to do is to open up the Mailbutler sidebar. As Tobias mentioned, I'm going to focus on the two Smart Assistant features. The Smart Assistant, that's the name of our AI functionality. The two features which actually write emails for you. So if I open a new Compose window, you'll see the Mailbutler sidebar here as well. And after clicking on this button, the first time you do it, you'll be asked to allow access to some of your email's content. This is for a feature I'm going to show in a second, and I'll explain a little bit more about. But after you've clicked on this button, you'll see that there's a Compose button here. So it brings up this field after I click it. And from here, you can enter a short keyword input, and the smart assistant will write an email based on that. So if I just say, for example, organize a meeting with Tobias on Thursday at 11 a.m. and then click compose. And after a second, you can see that in the sidebar is the email copy, which the smart assistant has generated. I can then insert that into my compose window and make any edits I need to before I send. And we would recommend always looking over the email, always making sure that you're happy with the content, because it's not a human, it is an artificial intelligence. And also, similarly to how we just saw in the demo now, our smart assistant works in a load of different languages. So if I say something in German, it's now had a meeting. So this is the exact same email, but in German, and it should give me a German result, which says basically the same thing. It asks for a meeting with Tobias on Thursday in German. So that's quite an easy example, but the smart assistant can also write more kind of jargon-heavy emails. So I could say something like, tell Bill Gates in detail how we can improve Microsoft's SEO strategy. And it might take a moment. Okay, no, it was quick. But as you can see, it's written out a much longer email, which goes into specifics about blog posts, videos, link building. So this is obviously also all of the information that this AI has extracted from the internet and other resources. So that's the Smart Compose feature. That's if you want to actually write something with kind of a specific input. Our other feature for the Smart Assistant, which can write emails for you, is the Smart Respond feature. So back in your inbox, when you have an email selected, over on the right-hand side, you'll see this reply button. And if I have an email here from Tobias asking me for a meeting at 11 a.m. on Thursday. And if I click on the reply button here, in the sidebar, it will bring up a response. And this response says yes to the meeting. But if I want to say no to the meeting, there's a button down here which says reply negatively, and I can click on this and the email will change and it will say, sorry, I can't make this meeting. And if I realize that's a mistake, I can go back to positively. And again, when you open this up, this will open in a draft window, so it won't send automatically, and you can make any edits you need to if you want to, and it's always good to check. So those are the two features that I'm going to demo today, but bear in mind that our Smart Assistant feature has four other functionalities it can do. It can summarize really, really long messages. It can create to-dos from emails. It can also improve your spelling and grammar in an email you've written, and it can also find contact information. And one thing I mentioned earlier about the privacy was the Smart Assistant, which I think Tobias will touch on more in a slide or two, but the Smart Assistant only has access to the emails which you allow it on, which you actually use the feature on, and it doesn't have access to all information. But Tobias will give you more information on that.
Yeah, thanks a lot, James. And you all saw these tools in action now. And as I think for both Stripo and Mailbutler, we only showed like a very, very small part of the product itself. So go and check out the websites of Stripo and Mailbutler to learn more actually about these tools. You can see my screen, right? Yeah. So, and just I just added one more slide because we just released it. The feature James showed in his Apple Mail inbox, the Smart Compose, where you provide a small input and then the Smart Assistant writes a full email for you. We actually also released it now to our email mobile application. So you can download Mailbutler from the App Store. And then when you open it, you see at the bottom right, the Smart Assistant icon. When you open it, you provide the input, then the message gets generated for you like James showed. And then the nice thing is when you click on Open Draft, it directly jumps to your email inbox, opens a new email and insert that email for you. So it's really just one click and then you're good to go to send that email. So it's also available on mobile because we know many of you are writing emails from the mobile phone, and even there it saves you even more time because typing on that small keyboard takes simply too long. Then shortly about what we are doing actually to protect your privacy. So you just saw Mailbutler in action during James' demo. And to do that magic, Mailbutler is using actually OpenAI's artificial intelligence, which is one of the best AIs on the market. You can see it here on the slide, which our CFO Fabian sketched on the very right side. And we believe that your emails are containing very sensitive data, and I'm pretty sure you have all kind of information inside your email which shouldn't leave actually your inbox. And that's very important for us because, as you know, AIs are learning based on context, on all kind of stuff. And if we're sending sensitive data to an AI, it will learn from it and it will save it. Of course, it will mix it up with all kind of other information, but still, we think we shouldn't do that. And that's why we have a system in place which takes your email when you use the feature, what James said, takes your email, checks, okay, what kind of private and sensitive data is inside the email, and that all happens on your side. And then we are anonymizing these data. For example, email address. I think email address is already a very private and sensitive information. So we take that email address and not remove it from the email. We are replacing it with a dummy variable. For example, instead of Tobias at mailbutler.io, in step 1, we are replacing it with John Doe at company XY. We do the replacement because simply removing the information would reduce the quality of the reply by losing that context. So the AI still knows, okay, in that sentence was an email address and not just a black box. Yeah. So then we take that anonymized email and ask the artificial intelligence, here OpenAI, to generate the compose for you. For example, let's say the email was an email you received, you used the smart reply feature, so we need to know the context, what the email is about. We anonymized the email, then we send the anonymized email to OpenAI. It generates, the artificial intelligence generates the reply for you, send it back to us, and then we replace back the dummy variables with the real data. So in the end, you will see on your screen not John Doe at mailbutler.io, you would see Tobias at mailbutler.io. So this is like a very, very simplified explanation of what is happening in the background. It's way more complex because already identifying what is sensitive data, what is not sensitive data is super complex. And we put in a lot of effort into these mechanisms. Yeah, I think there will be more questions maybe about it, but please simply use the chat. I also added like a link, maybe someone can put it in the chat, about the full blog post from our CFO explaining that mechanism, what's happening in the background. So that's your slide, Dmitry.
Yeah, thank you. And I completely agree with the Tobias. It's very important what we, how we feed AI, ChatGPT or BARD, because of based on this data, it can be very unpredictable way how this data is used. And also, it's easier for me now to generate any kind of content. What I did, I just asked ChatGPT-4 what kind of security and privacy concerns you have with the ChatGPT-4, and it answers there are a lot of them, and you have to understand them. So first, we have to understand that it has a trained data based on September 2021, so it's not actual data. But even if it has old data, it also has all kinds of data that can be used by myths or any kind of unproved, misleading, and all this information is used to generate some message to your audience. And you always have to be very accurate and validate some facts or some reasons, especially if it generates you I don't know, like an example for Bill Gates, how to improve the CEO of Microsoft. Maybe it could be some fake assumptions. You have to be an expert. You are responsible for content. So there are a lot of things. We all understand the data privacy, and we understand the problem of misinformation, but it's also the legal thing that we have to understand, which is copyright. Who owns the content if it's generated by some abstract data it gathered from different channels? So you cannot say that it's yours. So be very accurate about the copyright. Sometimes it could be sensitive, especially if somebody is not very accurate on feeding data to AI. And some other things we have to understand about ethical things, especially when you use AI for automatically generated responses. So you never know what would be used there. For example, now if you use our tools we just demonstrated, and you use it 100 times and then became just okay, generate send, because of it always works. It without reading. It's what really I found that it's what I do. I just read by diagonal. So it looks good. I can send it. Sometimes it's a bad idea. I would say it's always a bad idea. Please control everything that is generated. So we just need to understand that it's a good tool, but still have to be under very accurate control.
Thanks a lot.
That's it. That's all I wanted to share for now.
Yes, of course. And last, thank you so much, Dmitry, and thank you so much, Tobias and James. Last but not least, we of course want to invite you all to follow us on social media, as we both, Stripo and Mailbutler, share some insights regarding our company, as well as some new trends and developments regarding AI. So we're always trying to keep updated with that new but not that new subject anymore. So please feel free to follow us on social media. And regarding Mailbutler, we have a social media actually giveaway that we're giving a full lifetime membership. So if you go to our social media channels, you will find a post where we are promoting the giveaway, and you just have to follow a few simple steps and you will be able to participate there. And we will be announcing the winner next week, actually the 22nd of August. So feel free to participate, to follow us, to like the posts, and stay updated because new features are coming soon as well.
Thanks a lot. So now it's Q&A session time. So ask your question in the chat. I think there has been already a few questions, and Tiffany was so nice to collect them here. So while we are answering these questions, feel free to ask more questions in the chat. Tiffany will add them live here. I'm just checking my second screen now, so I'm not looking into the camera anymore. So if both sender and receiver use AI back and forward, don't we risk that in the end humans just overlook the emails altogether? Very good question. And actually we had a Smart Assistant webinar this week where I actually had a slide about it, the limitations of AI. And we think AI will never replace you or should never replace you. You're an expert in your field and you should just use an AI like your assistant. So still take care of the email, proofread it, because AIs can also produce correct sounding answers or emails, which are completely wrong because they always produce something. Even if they have no idea what the email is about, they would produce something. So you will never receive an answer from an I don't know that. It always tries to give you an answer. So always check it before you send it.
Yeah. I would also add here that a generative AI also uses for automated scams. It's used as a deep fakes. It's used for not very good people. Yeah. And sometimes you can find that you are speaking with a highly personalized but phishing emails. Yes, it's a recommendation to you. Don't automate it 100%. Take it under control. But you never know who speak on the other side from you. So yes, we have to be much more careful than it was earlier because of all this work automated and the way I think we will have so many new cases of a crime, of a scam, of a lot of things.
Yeah, it brings a lot of
Always
benefits,
both
but
sides,
also
good and
yeah,
bad.
yeah, good and bad. Yeah, it goes in and it's developing very fast at the moment. Yeah. So we don't want you to scare away, but use the good stuff and take care, not getting scammed or whatever. Suppose next question. Suppose I don't happen to like the phrase, I hope this message finds you well. Suppose also it to be repeated to my contacts. They will be surprised and possibly confused or even offended. Will the system learn from my edits and provide a different phrase next time? That's like a really nice feature request. We got it a lot. It's of course technically possible to learn. So we could, like, for example, train an AI module based on your preferences. At the moment, we're not doing that because we can't fully guarantee the privacy for it. So it is on our list and we're doing a lot in this direction, but it's not possible at the moment. Yeah, for Mailbutler. I don't know what's for Stripo.
I just can share my personal experience. When I use generative AI, I have my prompts already prepared and asking. So we have to build the context, and it's supported in your session. And usually I learn them. Please avoid this, use this, and the next question somewhere I thought about the tone of voice. So I have some things, the list of things I feed to AI, and then it generates me better result. And then I correct them. I never have one iteration. I always do, okay, do this, make it shorter, change tone of voice, speak as an expert, please don't use the big sentences, avoid these phrases. And as a result, I have what I want. When I use the same pattern several times, I put in one message and send it first message to build the context. It helps me a lot.
Yeah, I can only agree. Yeah. So how to better synchronize our own tone of voice with AI models? That's the same question. I think we just answered it. And nice question. How do I try Stripo? Yeah, Dmitry, go ahead.
I can only say that I didn't share a slide. I prepared a statistic how users use our different tones of voices. Can you guess what is the most popular tone of voice? I don't know, it could be as an expert or as a casual or friendly, or the number one is a formal. So say this in a formal way. It leads in 10 times from other tone of voices. I was very surprised. I thought that email, especially marketing email, have to be in a casual way, but formal is leading for now in our statistic.
I think you have a lot of German customers because in Germany, emails are very formal.
And you know, a formal is usually means a lot of unnecessary words, and we just lazy to type them. And you say what you want to say, and say, okay, say me in this formal tone of voice. It makes sense. And also, I send the link. I'm trying to answer the next question, if it's okay. If it's not, yeah. How to try Stripo is the easiest question. So you have a link, stripo.email, just register. It's absolutely free. It's a freemium. So there are a way how to use a Stripo in a paid subscription based. When you do exports in, I don't know, in more than 4 times in a month into some systems like MailChimp or Gmail or Outlook, or doesn't matter when you create a design. But to try it, it's absolutely for free. Just register stripo.email. You can use it, no problems.
Yeah.
If you met them, write me directly or into support for Stripo. We're always in touch.
Yeah, I think it's the same for both companies. Reach out to us via email. I think both of us are very responsive. Our support team is always there to help you, no matter what kind of question you have. So there's another one. Stripo is another way I send email campaigns, not a paid plan. List the customer, it saves me hours. Nice. Yeah, to promote Stripo, I think you guys have a lot of really nice predefined templates. And I know that Mailbutler has a lot of small companies using Mailbutler and freelancers. So companies who might not have a designer who can do everything for them. So go ahead, check out Stripo, get some of these email templates for your email campaigns, and then you have a professional look and feel inside your emails. Yeah.
Yep.
Good. Are there more questions? So
what modules does Stripo offer to streamline contribution among team members working on email projects? Okay. Here, today is a day of announcement, of a big announcement. In September, we plan to do a big release that will allow to use simultaneously editing of emails. And we're working hard now for a lot of collaboration tools like discussion, integration with your chats like Slack and your Asana, I don't know, just to create a task, approve it, approve your mail, ask opinion, for proofreading, for correction, for feedback from designer, how it looks in the different platforms, and do the changes in the same time for unlimited number of users. It's planned to be in September. For now, there are a lot of possibility to manage a lot of users, different permissions, different restrictions. All the things is already available. You can try.
Nice.
It's to Leila. Yeah, thank you for your question, Leila. Yeah, you know we're here not for promotion, but I'm so happy.
It's both ways. Of course, we want to highlight our products, but also make you aware what is possible with artificial intelligence. Yeah.
Thank you.
Good. We will stay for another 5 to 10 minutes. So whenever you have a question, just use the chat. For the rest, thank you all for participating. I think we got a lot of great input from your side as well. Special thanks to Dmitry for joining our webinar. And as Rogelio said, you will receive an email beginning of next week with a recording. You can also watch other webinar recordings on our website about all kind of features. And yeah, talk to you very soon and have a nice day.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me in this webinar, and thank you for all who participate, listen us in the recording and everything. Until we still promise to be here another 5 minutes, maybe we can I don't know, generate some ideas what the next feature we would like to do in AI for generative AI, not just AI, generative AI in our tools. Or maybe you would like to see in a Stripo or just. And everybody is welcome to write the idea. What could be the next great feature or great AI usage?
Yeah.
Your turn. Let's have one idea for all of us.
Come on, Rogelio, you always have great ideas.
I mean, we can always try to, I don't know. I would think like there's a lot of content being generated online, so maybe it would be nice to have something that you could generate regarding like social media, for example. It's my area of expertise per se. I know there are different tools, but I feel like there could be like a tool that could be integrated all in one. Yeah, so something like that would be amazing to have directly to insert it to the social media channels and everything would be pretty amazing as well.
Yeah, great. Who next? I can be. I have a just idea I never thought before. I just think, okay, I have to imagine something new. I have a list what I really want. I never thought about the plain text email. So we do promotional email, and it always have to be a plain text main part that we send together with HTML version. And now it just generates just copy all text we have in HTML, and always a crap. Oh, sorry for this word. So the AI is a great way how we can use it to generate plain text, short email from HTML version.
Mm-hmm.
It's better than typical algorithmic way.
Yeah, or maybe taking a newsletter or an email campaign and with one click generating a Twitter tweet, Instagram reel,
Exactly.
out of that content, what you did in that. Yeah.
Channel communication, great idea.
Yeah.
I also saw that when you ask it to share where you're from and from which industry, we had a developer here.
Yeah.
And it can write a code, and it really can write HTML. If you don't know how to code a button in email, you can ask ChatGPT. It will do it for you.
Yeah, you mean how AI is dealing with the development of language? That's how I understand it, right? That's a very good question. And yeah, perfect. The thing is, AIs in general, they're constantly learning. So when we are using, for example, OpenAI to generate an email, the AI is learning from it. So when the communication over time changes on the internet, on emails, on what newsletters, the AI learns from it all the time and adjusts the replies. So in the end, the AI is like you. Over the last 75 years, you also adapted to the changes of the language, and the AI does the same. You can really kind of imagine the AI like a human who is reading everything all the time and learning from it. Yeah.
I just trying to test, asking ChatGPT for some phrase like "Hi Tobias, it's a great webinar." How it would sound if you would say it 40 years ago. I don't know. Does it understand the age timeline and can change the tone of voice? I don't know. Never tried it. It's interesting question. We have to investigate.
Thomas also said, but he's using different language to different people. And that's the part where you can say more formal. And also when you say, email my boss about blah, 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 then it directly knows, okay, boss should be more formal and directly at least tries to guess how you would talk to your boss. Or how to, when you say my best friend, invite my best friend to a meeting, then it's more informal. Yeah. The AI always tries to adjust the language when it knows the recipient. Yeah.
You know, the answer of ChatGPT of my question, how this phrase would sound 40 years ago, it's and the phrase, it was, "Hi Tobias, it's a great webinar." It says, okay, first, 40 years ago, it would be a 1983, and webinars or web or similar is not relevant to this period. Then it says something about technology and about the communication. People never communicate like this, mostly by telephone or in person. So maybe it's better to say, "Hi, Tobias, that was a great lecture."
Yeah.
But I think it all comes down to also which prompts you use in order to compose an email, or even in ChatGPT. It all depends about the prompts. Like Tobias was saying, if you're talking to regarding if you have like a hierarchy and you're talking to your boss, it's different than if you talk to your best friend and everything. So it's important to take into account the prompts that you use for all of these AI tools, such as Mailbutler or Stripo and everything. It's very important just to check who are you aiming the recipient to be and everything. So yeah.
By the way, the most popular way how I just read a book about generative AI, how it should suggest use it for very personalized communication. So different tone of voice, different lines of communication, different messages based on the profile for user you download to your AI. And it not necessarily have to be open AI. It can be something deployed on your environment, but you know, ChatGPT or BART has a huge number of data to learn.
Good. Yeah, very interesting talk at the end. Yeah, and thank you, Thomas, for contributing. Then I would say we can end this webinar here now. Otherwise, the recording will get way too long. Again, Dmitry, thanks a lot. Let's stay in touch. I think we can definitely do another webinar in the future. The AI is evolving so quickly, so we will have a topic to talk about in a few months. So because everything is changing all the time. Yeah, and James, Rogelio, and Tiffany, thanks for organizing everything, for contributing, and talk to you all very soon. Have a nice day.